Haley Tribe, what's up? Before I start this video, I have to say thank you to those of you who are still reaching out today and asking about my dad. I've been meaning to update you guys because some of you have been asking. He is doing great. In fact, he's doing so well. My mom and dad just got back from Australia. So that's how well he's doing. In fact, my mom said he walked her all over Australia. Walked. And that's key because, as some of you know, when he got sick, he fainted and broke both of his ankles. And when you're in your 70s, that's a big deal because a lot of times you don't heal, the way you do when you're 30. And, my parents had me pretty late in life. And so I feel so blessed to have parents in their 70s that are so active and young. If you met them, you would not know that they are the age that they are. And if I can be half as active and spry at that age, y'all, I'm going to be doing something. So I hope they pass those genes on to me. But he's doing great. So thank you guys for asking. Okay, now let's talk about why you're not selling. And I think this video, and I hope you make time to watch the whole thing, even if you have to do it in parts, because I think it's going to hit home with a lot of you guys that are either starting or struggling. We had a very, very, very good discussion in my student-only Facebook group. And it's been one of the most beneficial discussions for me as a teacher that I've ever had in my group. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit about what we're talking about, but I'm going to be blurring out and blocking out the names and faces because it's a private group and I did not get permission to put their names and faces in this video. So just wanted to let you know that's why I'm doing that. But so somebody posted on May 18th, I watch all the POD videos from Lisa's YouTube channel and course again and again, trying to find the puzzle piece that I must have overlooked to break the knot. Does anyone feel the same way? And as you can see, we've got 77 comments here. So we all went in, we're discussing and I'm learning and all that. Come to find out, the person that posted this is making $300 to $500 a month. Now I'm going to be honest, when he posted this, I assumed he was making nothing. Now this is just my opinion, but if you're making $300 to $500 a month in 2019 with only organic sales, I would estimate that's probably the top 10%. I don't know what people think or expect to make for organic in 2019. That's pretty doggone good. This is not like 2016 with Merch by Amazon where you can, upload 20 designs and make $10,000 a month with a small amount of designs. The times have changed. So I think this person is doing better than he thinks he's doing. But I want to talk about expectations and comparison. And first of all, I can never tell anybody what they can expect to make. All I can tell you is that it's more competitive now. And I think if you want to do this long term, you have to be thinking about building a brand. And if you listen to my podcast that came out today, actually, I talked about my brand. I just hit the $2,000 a month for my brand alone, not Merch by Amazon. And I'm focusing now more on one brand, which is one of the reasons I don't have my merch course up anymore, because I'm not really doing that niche chasing stuff as much anymore. And I don't feel like I can offer as much value. And not to mention, it's just more competitive now. However, I still think you can make good money organically, especially on merch. It's just not going to be like it was in 2016 and 2017. Okay. So let's talk about what you can expect. Obviously, it's going to be all over the board. I will never make a video and say, if you upload X amount of designs, then you're going to make X amount of money. Are you kidding me? That would be so irresponsible. But I will say you have to upload a lot in order to test what is going to work for you. Let me just speak for me. On average, I upload roughly 60 to 70 designs per month. And that's across all platforms. Now, mind you, I'm focusing a lot more now on my brand than I am just willy-nilly niches all over the place. But yeah, roughly 60 to 70. So that's about 2 designs per day on average. Now, I don't typically do 2 to 3 designs per day. I might do 10 in a day, and then I don't upload for 2, 3, 4 days. I don't really have a schedule. I'm not going to be doing any videos talking about my very organized schedule with POD. Hashtag no structure. That's been my whole life. I'm not a structured person. I don't make to-do lists. I tried. I'll do it for a couple days and then I'll stop. And then I struggle with that. Hashtag no structure. But I will say this, I upload a lot. And what you all have to realize is most of the things that you upload are not going to sell. And I think there's this misconception that people who are making a lot of money, they're just selling every other thing that they upload. And that was a big part of the point I was making in our discussion. It was like, you guys, do you think that I'm just selling every other design that I upload? No, for me, only about 20 to 30% of what you upload is going to sell. And then what I do after it sells, I say, okay, now how can I scale this, especially now with the brand that I have? And that's what I talked about in the previous video with scaling. So it's not like everything that I'm uploading is selling, but once I upload enough stuff to get a rhythm and I see some examples of things that will sell, then I go, okay, that's selling. Now, let me scale that idea. Then I'll have a higher percentage of things that sell for that particular idea. But I'm constantly uploading a lot of things. And one of my students said, and she was very blunt and she was probably truthful in this, she said, Lisa, you can't relate to some of this because you're selling. And she's right, because when you're not selling, and this is what this discussion made me realize, when you're not selling, this is what happens. You become very analytical. You start over-analyzing every little thing because you don't really know what you're doing wrong. Is it your design? Is it your keywords? Is it a combination of all of the above? And so when you upload, you start second-guessing every little thing. Oh, should I have put the best word in the front of the title, or should I have done it at the end? Do I need to do T-shirt or T-shirt? You start to stress out over little details that don't really matter, but you think they matter because you're not selling and you don't know what you're supposed to be focusing on. And so this discussion right here really helps me see that. And when you're somebody like me who is making, 4 figures a month, you do have more confidence in what you're doing. And so here I am telling you, oh, don't worry about it, just upload. And you're like, no, Lisa, I've been uploading and I'm not selling and I'm tired of uploading. So I do get that. And I think that is why it is so important, especially today, to really do some research. And that's not the part that's fun, because that takes time and you just want to create. But today, that's why I did those videos in January on, how I find keywords, because today it's very necessary. And I think once you have a few keywords you could sell in, if you want to do this full time, it's time to, I think, focus on those keywords and maybe build a brand somewhere else or build that out. I think that's what you should be doing, for the long term. My opinion on that. Some people are still doing the whole niche chasing thing, and I'm doing that to an extent. I mean, today has been a really good day for me on merch. I don't know. It's like they switched a button on all of a sudden. It's like back to my, January income all of a sudden. But, then tomorrow it could be crappy. It's just the way that it goes. So I think that's the one thing you guys have to remember, is that most of us aren't selling the majority of the things that we're uploading. So those of you, RJ, John, those of you who comment and I know are selling, let these people know. Let these people know that we're not selling everything that we put out. We're uploading a lot. And then many of us learn to scale what does work. But you got to upload enough to get to that point. And I think that's where a lot of you guys are getting stuck. This is the other thing. Redbubble put out an email. I think it was Redbubble. I said I was going to save it and I couldn't find it. It might have been TeePublic. I can't remember if it was Redbubble or TeePublic, but one of them put out an email and it said that most of their best sellers, it took them 90 days to get their first sale. How many of you all stuck with this for 90 days? I would imagine a lot of people, if they don't see success after a couple weeks, they quit. I had a student that said, oh, I've been uploading to Redbubble for 2 weeks and I haven't made a sale. I was like, 2 weeks? Girl, it took me 6 months before I started making daily sales on Redbubble. Not my first sale, but I don't remember when I got my first sale, but daily sales, consistent sales, yeah, it took me 6 months. So I think a lot of you just have these unrealistic expectations, and that comes from watching and reading other group posts where people are like, oh, I got my first $2,000 month, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? You're like most people. Most people aren't doing that. You have to learn. And you get this perception that you're the only one that's struggling, and it's not true. And those people that are selling, you don't realize how much they had to upload before they actually started selling. And that's the part, I tweeted about this on Twitter. It's like when people post their earnings, They don't tell the whole story. You don't know the time they invested. You don't know how many things they uploaded that did not sell. You're only focusing on what they're selling and how much you're not selling. And that comparison game will kill you. So let me give you guys some actionable advice if you're struggling. Okay, this is what I would do. Go to Amazon. You've seen the videos where I do a keyword search and I say, oh, this is a good keyword to target. It only has 200 results, whatever. So find 10 keywords that you think you might be able to sell in. Come up with some ideas, right? Watch some of those videos that I did in my print on demand playlist. I do have a playlist for print on demand, and I show you how I come up with keywords. So you've got your 10 keywords that you found. Make 5 designs for each keyword. And I know that sounds like a lot. That's 50 designs, but you can break this up, okay? So do, let's just say 2 designs per day. By the end of the month, even before the end of the month, you've got 50 designs. So let's say by June 28th, you've got your 50 designs uploaded. Give it till the end of July. Just wait it out. See if any of them sell, okay? And then survey where you are at the end of July and go, oh, wow, okay, I sold 4 shirts. You're not gonna sell most of what you upload, remember that. But let's say of those 4 shirts you sold, 3 of them were in the same niche. So how can you now scale this idea, right? Maybe you want to build a niche shop on Redbubble or TeePublic or Spreadshirt or whatever. So that's kind of how I grew my brand. It started like that. I found something on merch that was untapped at the time, and then I started growing that. And just give yourself time and understand that you're not going to sell the majority of the things you upload. No one does. No one does. We all have to start somewhere, you know, and to the student that told me I couldn't relate because I'm selling, that's true. But you have to remember, there was a time when I was not selling anything. Everybody starts from zero. But the difference is, what do you do when you aren't selling? Do you give up or do you keep going? Because there was a 3-year period where I wasn't selling hardly anything, 3 years. But I always had other income streams. So this is why this has never really stressed me out, even when times get rough, because, you know, I've always got other income streams coming in. Y'all know I'm the queen of income diversification. So remember that everyone starts from zero. What matters is, what do you do when you are at zero? Are you frustrated? Do you give up, or do you keep going? And I think for a lot of you, you just need to keep going. But when you pick these designs and when you upload, you have to have some strategy behind it. You got to take the time and do that research. Remember, it's not about what you want to design. What does the market want? And that's what the research process is about. And that's why I did a lot of videos during my 14-day challenge on how I find keywords, because that part is important. And then once you have those keywords, then you can focus on being more creative, because you've got the audience that you're selling to. All right, so try that out and then let me know how that works for you guys. I'll talk to you in the next video.